Good morning. I'm filming part 4 today, which is getting acquainted or reacquainted with your sewing machine. I'm filming again by myself today because my kids say that their arms are getting too tired holding the camera, so I'm just going to film by myself, and it's just me with them today. So okay, so today's video is just getting reacquainted. I'm going to show you how to wind your bobbin, to put your thread in, the different simple functions of my sewing machine. It's going to be really simple and really straightforward. I'm going to show you what's what on my sewing machine. I just wanted to add one thing in from my last video, which was I wanted to talk about the prices of fabric, which I didn't get a chance to on my last video. So really simply, a meter of fabric is going to cost you, depending on the type of fabric, but on average, what I pay is about, people normally charge about £8 to £10 for a meter of cotton fabric and about £4 to £5 for a meter of polycotton. I usually pay a bit less than that because I shop around lots, so I'm really happy with myself if I pay £5 a meter. And let me know what you think, if you think that £5 is a good deal, or you wouldn't pay anything more than £5 if you're like me. But I'm happy with myself, and I think it's a good day. I think I've had a good find if I pay about £5, just under £5 for a meter of cotton fabric. Polycotton, I like to pay about £3.50 for a meter of polycotton. My local fabric store, who are awesome, and I'll link them again, my local one, just for people who are in Mansfield here, in England, where I am, in Nottinghamshire. So I'll link my local fabric store, who are really, really good, and they're really kind, and they'll do half a meter for me, and they'll even do a quarter of a meter for me, and they'll even do 3/4 of a meter for me. So if I want to like watch my costs and stuff like that, that's a good way of doing it too, which is not buying a meter and just buying really just what you need. But in my mind, I think you're always best to go over, because there's nothing worse than running short and then having to stop what you're doing, leave your project and go out and buy more of the same fabric, which you could have just got in the first place, but you were trying to save money. So now I used to be in the beginning, I used to be like, oh no, I'll just buy half, or I'll just buy a quarter, and now I'm kind of just like, I'll just buy the meter because I can maybe use it for another project. So that's just pricing, and obviously a quarter of a meter and a half a meter, it just goes down from half of what you would pay, but typically if you're just in a typical fabric shop, you'd probably pay about £8 to £9, which is about 10 to 11 US dollars for a meter of cotton fabric. But like I say, I'm always on the lookout. And I linked my favorite fabric shop in the UK on my last video. I'm going to link it again because I think she's amazing. And her prices are really good, so check it out. Check out her prices, and see what you think, and let me know if you think the prices are really good too. So I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine, which my son has readied for us. Here we go. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so thank you, Anna. Okay, so here we are at my machine. My sewing machine is a Brother machine. That's the model number of it right there. Okay, so I'm going to do a few... Kaden! I'm going to show you a few of the basic things. I'm probably going to get my son to do this part for me. Let me just hold it, just do some filming for me here while I explain my fabric of what's going on. Okay. So do you need to turn it around?
Yeah, oh god.
Okay. Okay. So, here we go. I've got my whole table out and cleared. I've got... It's funny enough, for years and years, I used to, every time I had an extra thread, I used to get up from my sewing machine, walk over to my garbage can and put my thread in the garbage, right? And then I watched this 10 sewing hacks on YouTube, and someone actually put as a sewing hack, which is so obvious now, but I don't know why I didn't do it for like years and years, put your garbage bag right next to your sewing machine. So I just used this chair, my daughter's old high chair, and I've got this on it now, right next to me. And I can't tell you how much my life has changed because of that hack. I don't know why I didn't think of it for ages, but now it's always there, and it's so helpful. So here we go, Kaden. Here we go. I'm going to okay, thank you. Okay, so a few things I want to point out is right here. We'll start here. This right here This is hard to do. Okay, this right here is my speed. Okay, so if you're a beginner, I would probably start here at number 2. Just till you find your feet with everything, and is a good place to go. And then I always sew at this one now because I've been at it a little while. But hang on one sec. Should I turn this around? Okay. So that's my speed. This right here is my. It's really faded, but it's a picture of a needle. And it's needle up and needle down. There's 2 ways to do that. You can use your automatic button to do needle up and needle down. One sec, I forgot to turn it on. Someone's knocked my my cord out, sorry. Okay, so there's 2 ways to put your needle up and down. And the first one is to use the automatic, like that. And the second way is your turning crank here on the side. Okay, so you can turn that, and that does the same thing. Needle up, needle down. Okay, so that's how you get your needle up and down. This thing right here, okay, that's my walking foot I have on. Okay, but this is your foot here, and that's what holds your fabric down. Underneath your foot, okay, is what's called your feed dog. See those sharp things, those metal things pointing up? Those are called your feed dogs. And those pull your fabric back at the same time your needle's coming down. So your feed dogs are what pull it, and your foot, your presser foot, is what's pressing the fabric. And because this is a walking foot for quilting, it's going to look like this. But your walking foot is going to walk over the fabric, and your feed dogs are going to pull it back. And that's how you sew through layers. Just a quick thing too. If you don't have a walking foot, some people are really lucky and they got a walking foot with their machine. I wasn't that lucky because my machine is kind of basic. I think my machine costs about 300 something. And that was a while ago, so it may have gone down a bit. But if you're not as lucky, you have to order one of yours, and you can probably order through the supplier probably. But I ordered mine from Amazon, and I paid £22 for my walking foot. And to be honest with you, you kind of need to have it for quilting. It's kind of essential. It's kind of special, my daughter says. I don't think you can get away with not having it. You really need it for sewing layers together, which we're going to be doing when we do our sandwiching and our basting. So if you have one, that's great, get it out, put it on. If you don't have one, you're probably going to need to order one before you can probably complete this. You could, if you really wanted to, you could do it without that, your walking foot, and I'll show you what a regular foot looks like too, the one that we're going to use to do our piecing. You kind of need to have it, so probably order one if you can, but I know Amazon's a bit slow right now with deliveries, but I do have stuff still coming. Okay, so here we go, moving on. This is our thread, where we keep our thread. This little gadget holds our thread on here. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to thread that, and we're going to wind a bobbin too, okay? So, bobbin. Right down in this little compartment down here, I pull this back. Hard to see, I'm sorry, there's no way. I pull this back and up pops this, and I take that out, and that's where your bobbin lives in there. So come out, little guy. Right, there we go. Oops. Katie, bring me my scissors please, honey. Yeah, I'm stuck here. Okay, so we're going to wind the bobbin. We're going to go through that right now, and I'm also going to show you in the next video how to attach your walking foot and how to take off your regular foot and how to attach this walking foot, but I'll save that for my next video. In this video, I'm just going to finish showing you my sewing machine and the basic functions, and then I'm going to wind the bobbin up, and we'll save the next video for attaching the walking foot, okay? So right, next thing on here, if you can see, is my little screen. It's hard to see what's on it because the sun's like glaring on it. But do you see where it says 2.5? Right, that's the length of your stitch. That's your stitch length. So that means 2.5 centimeters is how long every single little stitch is going to be all the way down. So you can make that go up. When I'm doing my piecework, okay, when I'm piecing together for my top work, I leave it at a 2.5, and that's pretty standard. Lots of YouTubers will tell you that too. When I start doing the quilting, which is the part that goes on top of your quilt to hold it all together, I'm going to move it up to a 3.0 stitch length, and that's pretty. I don't think that's just me. I think that's like lots of YouTubers will tell you the same thing. So it's a good rule of thumb to go by. Also on here, really important. Don't know if you can see that number 6 up there. Do you see it? That's your tension. Okay. Every sewing machine, when you buy it, comes with a preset tension that it's meant to be good for your machine. My machine came at a 4, which was like the standard factory settings. Over time, I've tightened up and I've moved up to a 6. Whether that's just because my machine is getting older, it needs a service, or whether that's just because I don't know why, but I've moved up to a 6 now, and that's where I'm comfortable. And my stitches, right, my tension, and what I say when I mean tension is like how tight your stitch is in. So my stitches at a 6, and it looks really good at a 6. Play around with like a tester piece of fabric and see what's a nice tension for you. But you want it nice and tight, but not too tight that it's going little. It's hard to show, but I'll do in my next video when I do attaching the walking foot, I'll do a sample for you too of like when your tension's good and when your tension's bad. But my tension is perfect at a 6 right now. So one more thing I wanted to show you. Up here is where we're going to wind our bobbin. So our thread is going to come from here. Our thread is going to come, and we're going to come through this little thing right here. Okay. We're going to go around this little thing right here. Okay. And mine is giving you nice directions on here. We're going to go this little thing, we're going to use it to tighten it up and put tension on it. So we're going to go around here, then we're going to travel all the way around, like the nice pictures I've given you. And then we're going to go to our bobbin here. Okay? And then this locks, when I push it, this locks my bobbin in. And then we spin the bobbin. Okay, so and then I'm going to teach you how to thread the machine, and then we'll do a separate video for swapping out the presser foots, and I'll do another video too for when you want to swap your needle out. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, so I'll just save you the time. A lot of people say, and I totally agree with this now, to put a different needle in every time you sew a quilt. In the beginning, I used like one needle for like 20 quilts, and then I finally was like, oh, I need to swap it. Now, to be honest, I notice, because I'm a little bit more experienced now, I notice a difference when you put a new needle in, and I just say swap it every single time, and I agree with YouTubers there too. And I think it is a beginner, you won't notice it. You won't see the difference and how much difference it is and how much better it is. But over time, over the years, you'll start to see, oh right, I can see why they recommend that. So I'm going to wind the bobbin right now, and then we'll do a few more videos while we're here, okay? Thanks, Anna. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to get set up 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to get a new bobbin, just a sec, because I think I'm out of bobbins. By the way, I've also got this really good thing. I bought it on Amazon to store your bobbins. So this is quite useful, actually. It helps keep them organized. That's awesome. That's awesome, honey. Okay, so I'm just going to really quickly, because I'm actually out of bobbins, I'm just going to take the thread off this one so I can start from fresh. This one's almost done anyway. It'll only take me a second. I should have done this in the beginning. But hey ho, we're getting there. Okay, done. Have a good one. Okay, so here we go. I've got some yellow thread. So here we go on our bobbin. Right, so my thread's on here. I've put my cap on, right? And now just watch my little journey that I'm going to take here. Okay, so I've got my thread. I'm coming under this little circle. Okay, hook it under. Right, I'm coming around this thing here. Right, and watch what I do here. Watch this little maneuver. So I go around the little peg and I circle around just like that. Okay, follow the instructions on your sewing machine. And now, Kaden, come here, sweetheart, please. Okay, I need my son to just hold the camera right there, okay? Don't move it. Don't move. Okay, so I'm going to trim this thread. Just watch me now. Okay, Now watch what I'm going to do here, okay? I'm going to, I need to pull a bit more. I'll go really slow. Right, so there's my bobbin. I'm going to take this thread, okay? And I'm going up into the little hole. I'm not going down into the little hole, I'm going up into the little hole like so, okay? So I'm going up like that. Hold it steady, Caden. Back a bit, Caden. Right, so I'm going up. Right there, hold it steady. So I'm going up there. Right, like that, okay? Now hold this thread up straight, okay? And put your bobbin and lock it into there, okay? Now to lock mine, I have to push it to the right all the way and listen to the noise. That's locked in now. Now keep holding on to this thread, okay? Do not let go of this thread. Now, I'm going to turn my speed up to high right here. I'm going to go to number 3 high on my speed because I don't have all day to sit and wind my bobbin, so I'm going to go to a high speed, okay? And then I'm going to press on my presser foot, but do not let go of this yet, okay? Don't let go until I tell you to. Where's my presser foot? Oh, it's all the way there. Just grab it there. Someone's taking it over there. Okay, here we go. Ready? So we're holding it up. Don't let go. Shoot, hang on a sec. Just a second here. What's happened here? There shouldn't be an issue here. There we go. Okay. Right, put that tighter. Right, just a sec here. It doesn't sound quite right. I think this is backwards. I think that's why. Right, turning it around. Turning it around now. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's going to sound a bit better now. Here's what it's going to sound like now. There we go. We're going now. Okay? So when that all gets wound up, right, the reason you don't let it go is because if you let it go, right, the little end of it is going to get tangled up in the actual bobbin, and you want to keep that out separately. So, and then you want to trim it off at the end. So once I'm done, I'm not going to wind it all the way. Once I'm done, I'm going to unclip, I'm going to unhook myself, I'm going to pull it out, right, and I'm going to trim it off with my scissors, that thread. Okay? And now here we go. I'm going to do it as slow as I can. This is putting the bobbin into here, okay, ready to sew. So I'm going to pop it in, do it slowly. Right, I'm going to take this thread and I'm going to pull through this, up and around, and I'm just following the arrows on my sewing machine. Just a second. Right, and I use this little thing to trim it off here, okay? So it's kind of hard to see, and I've only got a mobile phone, but that's how you do it. And then you click your little thing back into place like that, push it down and click it. There we go. So we're ready to sew here, and I'm going to do my next 2 videos. I'm going to thread the needle for you in the next video, and then I'll also show you how to attach your feet. Okay, so thanks for watching. Tune in again for our next video. Thanks very much and have a good day.